like you need a break but is struggling to pause, this is a conversation that you do not want to miss. So, we are going to talk about the power of a pause. If you are joining me for the first time, welcome to Moving Beyond Burnout. My name is Camesha Jones Brandon. I am a recovering workaholic, burnout overcomer, and Moving Beyond Burnout helps women to cultivate self awareness and to create practical pathways to overcome burnout for good. So today's topic is the power of a pause. I really have been reflecting on pausing in silence really over the last, I would say, maybe couple of months for a variety of reasons. But I believe that it's important to talk about pausing and to talk about silence as it relates to our mental well being. So, the first thing that I want to touch on is why we struggle to pause. Especially, this platform is really geared towards women. And with women, we wear multiple hats, and men do as well, but especially women, we are negotiating or responsible or have so many different demands that require our time and require our attention. But I believe that one thing that I have consistently seen are challenges with pausing and then what happens when we are still. In growing in church and in growing up, you heard messages like around productivity, such as the not working, the mind, is a devil's playground. I'm probably messing that up in some ways, but pretty much hinting at that you have to be working, you have to be doing something, because pausing in silence could lead to maybe other issues coming up, or you're sitting too long in silence with your mind and with your thoughts. And those are messages that have stuck with me throughout my life. And some of those other messages around workaholism, if we think about American culture, we are rewarded for working hard. We are rewarded for overworking, self sacrificing. All of those aspects of workaholism impacts what we feel is appropriate in terms of how much we work, and then also when is it appropriate to slow down, slow down and pause, and what that means. And the other part that I want to bring up that has been coming up, a lot more lately is rest. And there's this whole movement around rest, especially amongst Black women, but I believe overall in our society amongst women. And there are definitely messages around rest being lazy, and that you have to constantly be moving and have to be productive. And people are beginning to, in major ways, push back on that narrative and say, hey, we're not machines. We need to pause, we need to rest, and it's good for all parts of us, our minds, our bodies, our spirits, our environment, our community, when we rest. So these are some of the reasons why it can be hard to pause. It's embedded into our culture, in our religion. It's embedded into the structures and the systems that exist. And with all those coming together, it's challenging to be able to go against that and make intentional time for pausing and silence. So, how can pauses help? What I mean by taking a pause is it looks different for every person. Pausing can look like taking a break from certain responsibilities. Pausing can mean having time for silence and space within your day that you usually don't have. Pausing may be not responding to certain situations. And with pausing, it allows us the space. And the space is the most important aspect of pausing. It allows us the space to get clarity, to reflect. It gives us space to breathe, like literally and figuratively. And most importantly, when we pause, we are able to realign. I'm currently in a class right now, and one of the topics is the power of silence when you're supporting and helping other people. And I'm someone who can be a little bit uncomfortable with silence. I want to fill the space, um, or make or just to continue to consistently speak or share. And I have been personally practicing pausing and silence in my everyday conversations a lot more, and I'm realizing how much clarity the person that I'm engaging with has, how much clarity I have. It gives me time to think and to not have to automatically respond or fill space. Um, Also, pausing helps us with reflection when we're able to take time to reflect on what's happening currently, when we have time to reflect on the past and who and where we want to be in the future. Pausing gives us the opportunity for that. Breathing, a space to breathe. Literally, so many of us do not even breathe properly. We're not pausing and fully taking in air, in our lungs and out of our noses. We're literally not creating space for us to breathe normally, but also space to breathe figuratively as well in different parts of your day. And most important, realignment. When we pause, we have the opportunity to be still, to have clarity, reflect, and realign how you can move forward, and that realignment helps us to move every day with not just a sense of purpose, but a sense of meaning, and to be grounded in our decisions and our actions. So now I want to talk about how you can begin your pause practice. Everything is a practice. I always tell people it's not about being perfect, it's about practicing. And the more we practice, it becomes embedded into our lifestyle. So these are some recommendations that I have to begin your pause practice. One, listen to your body. Listen to your body. Our body is our alarm system. It gives us so much information about what's going on internally and what we might need to do to respond to what's happening. So, for example, if you're working a long day, you may start to feel tired, or your eyes might feel heavy, or you start to have a headache because you may not be eating because you're working so much. Those are our body's signs that, hey, I need some help. Can you tone it down? And when we listen to our bodies, that is a practice of pausing and listening from within, and then making the next choice to nourish ourselves. The other practice is mindfulness. Mindfulness is talked about mainly in context of like meditation and breath work, but being mindful, it includes that. And it also includes being intentional about our everyday decisions and our everyday interactions, and how that can potentially lead to certain outcomes. When you are practicing mindfulness and you're pausing and you're really looking and paying attention and being intentional about your engagement all around you, I guarantee you that you will see a shift. The next is time for nothing. Make time to do nothing. Even if you put in your calendar nothing, um, that if it's for an hour, 2 hours, a half a day, a whole day, give yourself time to sit still. Notice what comes up, and what comes up, may surprise you, or it may amplify an area of your life that you may be struggling with or you need to pay attention to. And time for nothing, when I think about, resting, right? A lot of people rest on Sundays for religious purposes or other reasons. But when we take the time to rest and not work and not be doing so many activities, it gives our minds, our bodies, and spirits a time to regroup, and to also figure out what needs attention and what's most important. And the last tip that I have to support your pause practice is to have a monthly check in. That monthly check in can be a time that you set aside every month to pause, reflect, gain clarity, and to realign. Whether that's journaling, whether that's through artwork, talking to other people. Some people like to verbally get out what they want to say and reflect. That monthly check in can be almost like your safe, reflective, intentional space for you. The power of your pause, I want you to begin to think about how you want to activate your power through pausing. And I believe that it'll truly make a difference in a world that tells us to keep going, to be productive, to be workaholics. That when we pause, we gain clarity. We're able to connect with who we are and what our values are and what's most important and how we want to move in our day to day lives. So thank you all for listening to this episode. And the next topic, this is the second to the last topic in the Power series, but the next one, which I'm sure you all will be so interested in hearing about, is the power of your no. I think women are getting a lot more firm in their no. I'm seeing it in so many different spaces and with people that I'm interacting with. But I want to unpack how powerful the word no is and how it opens up so many opportunities and it helps you to move with intention and with boundaries. That is what I'll be talking about in 2 weeks. So if you have not joined the Moving Beyond Burnout newsletter on LinkedIn, that is my newsletter that I release every 2 weeks that highlight the topic that I'm going to cover, but also other important, relevant information around burnout, around wellness, around mental health. So in the description, you will see an information about how to sign up for that newsletter if you're on LinkedIn. And then also, if you are interested in connecting with me, I am the most active on LinkedIn. My business, Sister Afia, is on Instagram, but you won't interact that much with me. You'll be interacting with the social media person. But if you want to interact more with me, get to know me, and I want to get to know you, then LinkedIn, Camesha L. Jones Brandon is where you can find me. So I hope that moving forward, you're able to practice the power of your pause. Take care of all of you and be well.